MMAOddsbreaker.com proudly presents the Premium Oddscast, your home for the best fight picks, bets, analysis, and statistics, hosted by leading MMA oddsmaker Nick Kalikas, fight scientist and author of Fightnomics Reed Kuhn, and myself, MMA journalist Brian Eminger. Get an inside track from the experts as part of MMAOddsbreaker.com's premium betting service. Welcome to Part 2 of MMAOddsbreaker.com's Premium Oddscast. In Part 1 yesterday, we broke down the upcoming Ultimate Fighter 18 finale event extensively from top to bottom, while also providing our picks. Without further ado, let's bring in leading MMA oddsmaker Nick Kalikas for a breakdown on the bets we want to make today, and we'll start with the opening bout of the night, a flyweight bout between UFC newcomers Ryan Benoit and Josh Sampo. Nick, what did you see at the weigh-ins today, and what's your final take on this fight?
Well, surprisingly, if one person was going to miss weight on this bout, I thought it would be Benoit. If I'm pronouncing this wrong, or if we're pronouncing this wrong, I apologize. No disrespect there. But I'm getting into the fight again. I'm just surprised that Sampo was the one that actually missed weight. Benoit in the past had struggles, making his weight cut when he fought on Access TV several times, like I stated in Part 1 of the podcast. So, wow, this actually makes me like Benoit that much more as far as betting value goes, because he is an underdog, and this was a coin flip type of fight, and we actually picked Benoit on Part 1. So, again, it's a matchup really where the wrestling should kind of neutralize each other out. Both of them are extremely talented on the ground, but Benoit actually has a significant advantage on the feet with his striking, with his power, even a little bit of actual reach advantage on the feet, even though they're the same height. So I think, again, all signs are kind of clearly pointing to Benoit winning this fight. He can win by stoppage. It can be a close decision. I think Sampo now missing weight, I'm not questioning that he can go 3, but it should hinder his performance just a little bit slightly. So, again, based on the plus money, based on past experiences with fighters missing weight, I have no choice but to put in Benoit as a strictly value play. Now, again, a fight I realistically know could go either way, but at plus money in a situation like this, you got to go with Benoit. So I am recommending a 3-unit play on Benoit here as far as premium goes, because I do think the advantages lie with him.
And it's a proven statistic that fighters who miss weight go on to lose their fight about 2/3 of the time. Josh Sampo did not look good on the scale, and he decided to quit cutting weight and forfeit 10% of his fight purse, so he obviously wasn't feeling well either. Moving on, we have another very interesting fight, a featherweight matchup between a pair of grapplers in Hani Yahya and Tom Ninamaki. What's your take on this one, Nick, and what are the premium plays we're offering?
This is another similar situation. I actually picked Ninamaki on the podcast Part 1, of course, as many of you know. And at the weigh-ins, he looked great. Yahya didn't look bad at all. I just liked the way they basically matched up, and I believe that what I said on the podcast is still going to come true. This is a dangerous fight, no doubt about it, but there is value, I think, on the underdog here, because it is, again, plus money, and you're getting what I believe is going to be the stronger fighter that's going to take advantage and end up being in top position and probably ground and pound his way to a decision. I think that's really how this fight's going to play out. I'm even more confident now after weigh-ins that it's going to play out like that. And again, I do respect Yahya's ability to get the submission in his wrestling and his grappling ability, period, but I think Ninamaki, more likely than not, is going to end up in top position and get that ground and pound. So value play, plus money again. I'm going to actually raise it a little bit. We're going to go 3.5 units on this premium play for Ninamaki over Yahya. I do believe that that's the right side as well.
And I think another thing going into this is Ninamaki has a serious cardio advantage. Yahya definitely slowed down a lot in that last fight against Josh Compton, and I do think that Yahya might be able to pull off a submission or win the first round. You got to worry about him after that, and that always seems to happen is the fighter that has the cardio advantage, they can pull through very often. And our final play of the evening, the main event, Nate Diaz against Gray Maynard, their trilogy fight. What's your take on this one, and what are we offering?
Well, first off, I know a lot of people are going to say Diaz looked trained on weigh-ins, and he does a lot. It's noted that he doesn't like cutting to lightweight. Even Sonnen just said something at the weigh-ins about that as well. That being said, though, I don't think it's going to impact this fight. Both of the guys made weight. Both of these guys typically are professionals, so that wasn't really a concern. And I think the fight's basically going to play out like I did originally. I think that Nate Diaz has more ways to win this fight. He can win by decision, he can win by stoppage, by TKO stoppage, by submission stoppage, or by decision, whereas Gray, I think, would have to basically maybe KO Diaz. He could possibly win by decision by rocking him again every round a little bit. So that is my concern, because he does have so much power. And his wrestling ability, of course, taking the fight to the floor. But I still think if he does that, a lot of people are banking on Gray maybe controlling Diaz. I don't think he's going to have the success that other fighters in the past have had against Diaz like that. So if he tries to grind him out, I think he gets caught. And I think, like I said, on the feet, it's going to be competitive enough that it's going to be one of those coin flip type of fights if it hits the cards. There's no way, I wouldn't recommend, I don't care if Gray does go out and win this fight, I don't think there's any value at all in this spot with Gray Maynard laying that kind of juice, even if it's not a lot, $1.35, even if it's $1.15, there's no value risking your money on Gray Maynard right now because, like I said, based on his previous performances, especially recently, he hasn't looked that good. He's been clipped. He's coming off a knockout loss. I know you could say the same thing about Diaz, but looking back throughout Diaz's recent performances and looking at Maynard's, I think that Maynard is a little bit more on the decline, and I think that Diaz is in a good position to complete the trilogy and get the W here. So could be wrong, but again, it's based on value here, and you got to go with the underdog in a case like this. So that's why I feel confident Diaz is probably either going to get a close decision or the stoppage here, and another 3.5 unit play for me on Nate Diaz here.
Yeah, and the other thing, about Chael saying that Nate looked drawn out, he always looks drawn out, and he's never, ever shown up to a fight and had a bad conditioning or gassed or anything. He always is in great shape. He's always ready to go. He's always ready for 3 or even 5 rounds. So I don't think that's an issue whatsoever, no matter how drawn out he looks, because he just is able to recover properly. And the main thing to look out for, you looked at that stare down. Nate Diaz's arms were just so long and lanky. If he's actually able to use those, and his striking should be way better this time than the last 2 times they fought. If he's able to use that reach advantage properly, Gray Maynard's going to have some issues, even if he wants to take him down, getting inside on him. So that's another reason that I really like this play as well. So that is 3 bets, 3 plays, all 3 underdogs. So very good profit potential for this show. Any final thoughts on our premium package here, Nick, before we head out for the show?
Well, we are adding a couple things as far as the free play goes. I know this is something that we talked about as well, Brian, and we're going to give it out publicly here even before this premium podcast gets released. So we're doing a 2-team parlay also with Spencer and Pena, and we do like that. I know that you like that as well. And I think, for 3 units, what we're going to give it out on as far as a free play goes, I think that has a lot of potential as well. So overall, with the premium podcast, we do have a free play. We're giving out the 2-team parlay that I just mentioned with Pena and, of course, Spencer, and then the 3 premium plays that we just covered as well. So 4 plays overall for the premium podcast. Again, 3 premium and 1 actually of the free play. In the future, we're going to have we're going to keep that trend going with maybe 1 free 2-team parlay per card or something to that nature. And again, overall, I just want to let the viewers know, and the listeners, I should say, know out there, this is the first time that we're kind of getting this podcast together and flowing with things. I'm very happy and pleased the way things are going. Of course, we have some sound issues and some production issues that we are going to address, and it's going to get better. So very confident, and this is a great start. So thank you, Brian, and I'd like to thank Reed out there and all the people that are listening and still supporting MMA Oddsbreaker. I can't wait for the success we're going to have here in the near future, and thanks again to everybody.
And just a reminder, we'll be giving out these free plays earlier, usually the night before the event via our Premium Oddscast Twitter handle. So make sure you're following @Premium Oddscast on Twitter. We released the Spencer Pena parlay at around 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right after the weigh-ins. So if you want to get a head start, maybe the quick scoop before the odds shift, make sure you're tuning in, following, or whatever. So for myself, Brian Heminger, and of course leading oddsmaker Nick Kalikas, have a great day, enjoy the fights, and happy betting, everybody.